Hey guys, Ray from loveyourrv.com. So today I'm going to share with you 10 of my most used upgrades. Now these are upgrades that we did to our Keystone Cougar over the course of the years we've owned it. We've been full timing in this Cougar for almost 9 years now. So there was things we found that the OEM installed that really didn't cut it, so we upgraded them. So I went through and thought, oh, let's go and find the most used stuff that I would actually put back in a new rig if I was to get a brand new rig again. Maybe help you folks that are new to RVing figure out what you might like to upgrade in your rig. So let's get to it. Let's do the outside ones first. First off, this pin box. So this was an upgrade over the solid pin box, cheap solid pin boxes you see on most fifth wheels. And this one has an air bag that I can fill up with air and adjust, and then also a shock absorber. So basically what that does, it's protecting the fifth wheel frame, especially when you hit a huge bump, say you go over some train tracks or one of those like bridge abutments, and you hit it pretty hard. I can see that thing actually squeezing like that. So I think over time that's going to help our fifth wheel's frame last and maybe prevent a big break in the frame, which can be a real dramatic event for a fifth wheel because it would break maybe inside and you'd have to peel everything apart, take the cap off and try to find it and weld it. So, and it also improves the ride. I've had this Trail Air, it's an air ride hitch for 4 years now and not a lick of problems, so it's been a good unit. I'll link to the review. I've done reviews and install videos on all these things I'm going to show you, so I'll leave the links in the descriptions if you want to check them out further for more information on each of the upgrades. Next is the storage door locks. So it came with just the normal blade key type storage bay doors. And after maybe two or 3 years, they were getting really flaky. I'd have to go in and jiggle them around just to get them to turn. And also, funny enough, a lot of the keys are exactly the same. So you might have a key that'll open your neighbor's locks. So I changed over and got this cylinder type key. There's a company called CH751.com, something like that. I'll put a link to it. Anyway, with that cylinder key, it's very positive. And I'm going on 6 years now with these, and they're still very easy to turn and work really well, so I'm really happy with that upgrade. Number 3 most used upgrade is my sewer hose connection. So it came with the standard bayonet connection that almost every RV has, and you get the slinky hose and you'd hook on the connection, put it in, and you'd unhook it and rinse all it out and all that kind of stuff when you're at the dump station. But I actually modified things and made it always, there's a cam lock connection in there that I leave hooked up all the time, and then I mounted a storage box underneath there. And this is the Wastemaster sewer hose, so it has a valve on the end and everything. And this hose will stretch out 20 feet. So that's great for pretty well most RV parks and any dump station I come to. So I just pull this out, dump the tank, close the valve and put it back in the box. It just folds neatly in that box and the box closes and locks up. And I'm on my way, so it's made dumping really easy. So that's definitely an upgrade I would do again if I had another fifth wheel. It's not cheap, but you know, I'm a full-time RVer, so it's, and when I'm boondocking, it's something I'm doing all the time, so I really like that that upgrade. And we're at the 4.5 year mark for that install and that hose, so it's lasted pretty good. Number 4, something we use every day, is this RV door handle lock. It's a push button lock, so it's a combo lock. So if we leave the rig, I just have to push lock, and the door's locked, and then I just enter a combo and it opens up. Just like so. So when I put this in 2 years ago, I was a little concerned because this was a plasticky push button area here I thought, oh, maybe it's going to kind of wear out and crack, but so far no signs of it. And also on the inside here, I was a little concerned because this was kind of a plasticky feel, so I thought that might snap off, and it's been fine. And also the batteries, I didn't know how long they were going to last. There's 4 alkaline batteries, but I almost forget it takes batteries after a while. I think it goes almost a year before it needs a battery. So that's worked out pretty good. I think that's RV Lock is the brand name, but I have seen them. This one was pretty expensive, a little over 200 bucks, I think Ann paid. It was a Christmas present. But I've seen them for around 150, more of an off-market brand. Number 5 is this bar that I screwed on to the screen door. It's kind of a grab bar, or you can hang a towel on it or something. I think it's made by Camco. Anyway, actually that was one of my 10 must-have gadgets that I put in there, and a lot of people really like that, and I'm sure they've installed it. I think they should come with that, because if you don't have that grab bar, you're always pulling on these plastic things. Usually they're pulling them out, so it's nice to have that bar when you're closing the screen door. And we've had the bar going on 5 years now. No problems at all. Number 6 is my tank level monitor. I use all the time to check the tanks, and also the water pump switch is on there and the water heater switch is on there, and also has a battery monitor on it. But mostly the two that get used all the time, especially when we're out dry camping, is fresh water. And it's much better than the OEM that just had 4 dummy lights. They just had 1/3, 2/3, and full. This thing has a bunch of different segments, shows up in a percentage full. So I have a more accurate representation of how much water I have left in the fresh tank. Also the gray tank, it works pretty good. It's almost time for us to head to the dump now. We're at 95%. I find the only downfall of this is because when we boondock, we don't really flush our tanks that much, so the black tank gets to the point where it just shows full. Same with the galley. They don't really work that well. If I'm constantly flushing them, like if I was just going out for a weekend, I could flush my tanks, they would be accurate. But I find as a full-timer, using my tanks a lot, unless I want to be flushing them every like few days, those two don't work. But the gray always works because it's just shower water. And it's an important tank because that usually is the tank that we fill first. And of course the fresh, you want to know how much you have. So I'm happy with that. I probably, in hindsight, I might have even just got one that only did 2 tanks, and then I just would have forget about that. The galley, we rarely ever put enough in the galley. It's a 40-gallon tank just for the kitchen, so we never really fill that. And the black, I can totally tell by how the flush sounds, how full we're getting to the black. And when we get right near the full, the toilet will burp, so it's not as much of a problem there. And we've had the sea level installed, must be about 3 years now. And below the monitor is an upgrade we use every day as well. This is a digital thermostat, and it was swapped out for the analog. This is what came with the rig. It just had the old slider controls and switches. Also, it would have a wide range of what they call persistence, so it wouldn't turn on until it got 2 degrees below the setting, and it wouldn't turn off to 2 degrees above, so there's a 4-degree range. And with the slider, it was kind of hard to get really exactly where you wanted it, so it was a real pain. I swapped it out pretty early. I've been through a few of these digital ones. I had a Hunter one in there for a while. Then I switched to this Honeywell brand, mostly because it had auto switch over from heat to cool, which sometimes of the year we need, especially in the summer when we're on hookups. We need to run the AC often during the day because the sun comes in the back windows, and then at night we need the heat, so you'd constantly be trying to remember to switch the heat on. This one auto switches, so I really like that. But I did have one of these fail on me. There was one, suddenly the heat wouldn't turn off. It would just run and run and run and wake up in the middle of the night really hot. It's like 79 in here. So I went back to one of these for a while. and now I'm back to the Honeywell again, and so far it's been fine for going on about 8 months, but I really like that upgrade. Just a much finer control of the heating and cooling. Number 8 is a relatively new addition. I don't know why I didn't do this years and years ago, but I put in a better quality fan. We had like a really small fan up there that came OEM, really noisy, and it didn't move too much air. So I put in one of these hangs fans, and it's much bigger. Only problem with it is it only had a really fast speed when you turned it on. So I also did a mod where I put in a little controller and a knob here. So let me turn that on there. You can see I can adjust this knob. I can turn it right down, or I can turn it full blast. So that's been really nice. And of course, being humans, we use that a couple times a day usually. That's basically installed in our toilet room there. So number 9, also in the bathroom, is the shower head. The shower head that came OEM in our rig was just a piece of junk. It was just plastic. It actually used quite a bit of water too. So I think it was maybe, once I started boondocking a bit, I switched to the Oxygenetics one, the body spa model, which is a little different looking than this one. And it saved a lot on the water, and we liked it. But when this Fury RV model came out with multiple different streams, I went to that because it had the old water saving stream, but it also had a couple other nice streams. So we switched to that. I'm on my second. Ended up, one problem I find with these is sometimes this part will twist off. We were getting to the point where we're trying to twist it sideways and you end up snapping these. I wish actually this part was metal. They just make it out of plastic, so we've been a little more careful with this one, but I really like it. And number 10, the final one, was the furniture. So the rig furniture was great for the first year, and then it just got worse and worse really quickly as the cheap foam collapsed. So we used to have 2 rocker recliners back here. We ripped that out, and there was like a little kind of desk. So I adjusted things and made myself a workspace and a little desk for my computer over there. We took out kind of a jackknife sofa that was over here, and I built this day bed. Has storage underneath. We had it upholstered by a professional and used really good foam, and it's lasted really well. That's not leather, it's a really high quality vinyl, but it acts a lot like leather. And then Anne got herself a really nice recliner chair with an ottoman. She's really enjoyed that, and it's lasted really well. So during the day she often naps on the day bed, and then at night she'll use her chair, and I'll stretch out on the day bed and we can watch some TV or whatever. So yeah, if we ever get a new RV, I'd actually try to get it with no furniture, or we would soon be changing the junk they put in RVs. Well, there you go. 10 of my most used upgrades to the old Cougar fifth wheel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Cheers, folks.